Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Amin here from Seera Masters, of course, developing the Muslim mindset for success. Ramadan Mubarak. Hope it's been going well so far. We're about halfway through Ramadan. I don't know when I'm going to put this up, but definitely before the last 10 days, inshallah. So you can get ready to give your charity. Now, as usual, well, I say as usual, I think this is the second time I'm doing this, the second Ramadan. I'm doing this list of kind of my recommended charities, but just it's good to have a list ready to go because, like I said in the live stream I did, how to prepare for Ramadan, you want to have all the resources you need to accomplish that goal ready, so there's no further effort required. So, for example, if you want to read Quran every day for Ramadan, you need to know which mushaf, which Quran book you're going to use, and it's going to have to be in the same place every day next to where you sit and read. You get it? Likewise, if you're going to give charity every day in the last 10 days, then you should know where you're going to give charity to ahead of time. Otherwise, it becomes this long ordeal of spending half an hour each day just looking for a charity, right? So I've created a spreadsheet for you with all of my, what I, kind of want to give to, or what I kind of like, and I'll take you through all of them. I've made the spreadsheet. You can make your own spreadsheet. You can copy this and add your own or take away some of them. It's as you like, but the basic idea is for me to encourage you to have a spreadsheet ready so that you can go with the links. Have the links right there, and it's very quick and easy to give. So let's jump right into it. Let me just make myself smaller. Okay, good. Let me put myself over here. Okay, great. So let's go through some of these, right? So first I want to show you how you can make your own version of this, because there'll be a link for this spreadsheet below this video, and you just click on that. But it belongs to me, right? So you're not going to be able to edit it. But what you can do is make your own version, and you can edit that version. So what you do is you click File, you click Make a Copy, and you just then click OK. As long as you're logged into a Google account, then you're going to have your own version of this spreadsheet, okay? And you save it as whatever you like, and then you can make changes to it, okay? I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to take you through my version, okay? So just here we've got charity name, what they do, link to donate, and then link to donate to, because sometimes they have two campaigns going, two places to give. And then this one, let me just write it, Zakah. So if it's a zakat eligible, I've put a Z here. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's going to be very clear for you anyway. So if you're looking to pay your zakat, just look for the ones that are titled as Z, with a Z, and then definitely those, you could just double check where do you give your zakat on that page, on that website, and then you can give your zakat there. So let's start, yeah? So One Solid Ummah, one of my favorite charities, they actually changed their name kind of thing. I think they merged into a Turkish charity now. There was a few brothers, or a brother from Kuwait, who started helping out in Syria, and always very transparent, very good guy. And now it's just grown and grown and grown. And now they have multiple, what they call orphan villages. I think that's what they call them, orphan villages. They built like over 7 or 8 orphan villages, like house upon house upon house for all these kids to live in. Some of them are with their mothers, their fathers passed away maybe, or their father's still in Syria. And they've also built a school and masjid, but they do so much more than that now, right? I think after merging. But nonetheless, that reputation for me, it's stuck with it. And so for that reason, I'm happy to give to them, because I just really feel like they're so trustworthy, and efficient with the money. So that's One Solid Ummah. Like you can see, the link is ihcro.org, right? So it's a different name of the charity now, but the same guy is involved. What's his name? Abdul Samad, maybe. Yeah. So they've got two links. One's on good, one's on their website. Next is National Zakah Foundation. Now, you probably know this is set up by Mercy Mission, which is a really good kind of umbrella organization with so many kind of different organizations underneath it. But basically what they do is National Zakah Foundation, it's set up to collect and distribute zakah in whatever country it's in. So the first one I think was in the UK, and they're doing really well, but they have since set up in 4 other countries, I believe. So they're doing a good job. Basically, they want to eradicate poverty in the UK in terms of the UK version of it. Yeah. So Muslims give zakat to the NZF. They distribute zakat to those in need, and that's how you eradicate poverty. You know, that's the theory. So you go to the website there. You can give your zakat. I think they also, of course, accept your sadaqah. Seera Masters. Okay, for the first time, I'm on this list, and what I'm doing this Ramadan is I'm launching a campaign to help with publishing a book on the Islamic model for masculinity. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably haven't been able to ignore what I'm doing in terms of the campaign. I've done a lot of videos and emails about it, so you can help build better men, better families, and a stronger ummah. So the link is there. I would really appreciate, after putting years and years putting out videos, content, etc. If you could just help me this one time where I'm asking, and you're actually going to get something in return, right? You're going to get a copy of the book. It's like a pre-order of the book, right? But that would really help. So the link for that is there. It's on Launch Good, and alhamdulillah, done well so far, but we can always go further. And if you want a copy of the book, then of course just get one, isn't it? Charity SOS. Now this is also a new one. This guy, Ahmed Zubair, I think that's his name, Ahmed Zubair. I spoke to him in the context of business, right, helping him out with his marketing and stuff, and he told me all about his charity work. And basically he's a guy who he has few businesses. He doesn't really need to work for money, and so he's just gone out there and he's just helping people all around the world. He's been traveling for a very long time. When I spoke to him, he was in Indonesia, and he talked to me about how he just gets on with it. He goes in the trenches, he gets the work done. If you pay him to build a well, he's going to go and supervise that well being built. And even I think this is him. Yeah. He told me, I believe, if I remember correctly, that every company he works with, so obviously to build a well, you need to hire a company that builds wells. So every company he works with, he makes them give 10% of their profit to charity as well, right? So he's got that just in the trenches kind of thing, and he's there on the ground making things happen. So for that reason, I kind of trust him a lot. So he wasn't even doing it under a name. And sometimes you'll see on his Facebook, his personal Facebook is here, and he's posting a lot there. Sometimes he raises money for other charities. So it's not about him. It's not about paying the bills for his charity. He only just set up a charity, actually. Before that, he was purely just raising money for other charities that he trusts. Yeah. And he doesn't trust all charities. Let's just say it like that. So this is a new one, and he's on the ground, so I like him for that reason. You can even WhatsApp him. You can ask him stuff. So that's that. Another new one here, National Waqf Fund, right? So it's a waqf or a trust or endowment. I think those three are the same thing in the UK, led by Sheikh Sajid Omar. So what is a waqf? Waqf comes from waqafa, which is to stop something. Basically, it's money that you pull together and it's stopped there, right? So it can only be used for this charitable purpose. An example of that is, I think it was Uthman bin Affan, radiallahu anh. He bought land which had water under it, right? Like it's for a well. So there's a well there. They dug a well, and he didn't own that land now. It's a waqf, right? It's a public property of the Muslims. And so no one's allowed to buy or sell that. It belongs now just to the community. And basically from that day until today, people are still benefiting from the water coming from that well, right? So that's an example of a waqf where it's been dedicated now to the ummah. It's the property of the general ummah, and no one's allowed to buy, sell it, profit off it, etc. Now you could say the same with an apartment block, for example. You buy an apartment block and it is stopped, meaning you can't buy it, sell it, profit off it. Any rent that comes out of this block of flats is charity money to be given to charities, right? So that's how it works. And if you think about it, long term, that is crazy. That's what we need to be doing, right? Awqaf. And so many charities in Saudi Arabia I've heard of, they get their money not from every year asking for more money from people. They do that, but they've got awqaf, right? One guy will be like, yes, I've got a building here. The building, any revenue from this building is dedicated to charitable causes, right? And it doesn't even belong to him, right? So he might own it, but then he gives it to the waqf, and now it's belonging to the waqf. He doesn't own it anymore. He can't sell it when he wants. It's stopped, right? As the word suggests, waqf. So that's what a waqf is. And this year I've seen two different, we'll call them trusts in English, two different trusts being launched. National Waqf Fund with Sheikh Said Omar behind it, which someone personally I trust. You've got there's a link there for you to donate to this Waqf to build it out for that long term vision kind of thing. And also, Mercy Mission have launched One Endowment Trust, which is also a Waqf. It's started off in the UK, and because of their success with National Zakah Foundation, that is an interesting one as well, because you've seen what they can do. Like operationally, they're very good at what they do. And this Launch Good campaign, I think it is for the One Endowment Trust. It's under the name Mercy Mission, but there's no mention of One Endowment Trust. When I went on it's hard to find basically information about the One Endowment Trust. Like there's no website yet or anything. So I think it was just announced, but without any website yet. The only place I saw it was Sheikh Tawfiq Chowdhury's Facebook page, right? So you can make your decision between those two, or you want to give to both, or you want to find out more about it. Islamic Council of Europe. So this is the kind of about section for this. Unite the Ummah by helping couples and business partners mend their relationships, thus creating strong bonds needed for a strong Ummah, led by Sheikh Haytham al-Haddad. So, obviously I trust this because it's led by Sheikh Haytham, and it's important, right? Couples and business partners resolving issues, helping families stay united, helping businesses stay together, which is what's needed, right? So again, I put a link there for you to support them, give any money that they might need. Ilm Feed. Now you probably know Ilm Feed, media organization producing a ton of material on social media all the time. They always verify their stories. They're very good that way, and they're just growing and growing, right? I think they take it seriously. They take it seriously, putting good quality stuff out there, verified stuff out there, and being positive. And I really like that. So, as you might know, they have a podcast. They're putting videos out. They put a few kind of skits out. And I believe on this Launch Good page over here, they mentioned that in a few years, they're looking to make a film as well. So if you give them money, if they get a lot of money, they're going to make good use of it. Like they're going to take this thing far. So that's why I like them. They've got a Patreon you can give to, and then they've got a Launch Good campaign there. Okay, Islam 2.0C, similar to Ilm Feed, really, in the case of it being media, but it's orthodox Islamic narrative. All right, it's more maybe for the religious side. Religious Muslims, if you like, would more likely to consume this rather than more casual stuff that Ilm Feed puts out. And they've got a Launch Good campaign. They've also got their own website where you can donate. And yeah, I think some of the articles on their website are really good and giving really paradigm shifting, giving you a new way of, they basically, if you read a lot of their articles, you're going to begin to develop an Islamic worldview. And that's what I like, right? That's what I like about them. Again, this is Islam 2.0C is part of MRDF, which is led by Sheikh Haytham al-Haddad. So that's good as well. IERA, so IERA, the biggest name in Dawah in the West, at least in the English-speaking world. They just do a good job, right? They're focused on Dawah. They know what they're doing in Dawah. And, if you listen to Hamza Zortzis, who is the CEO of IERA, he did an interview with my business partner, Mohammed, on the Muslim CEO podcast, actually. And he's talking about leadership and trust being put in him to deliver, right? And he takes it very seriously. So there are a couple of links there where you can donate to IERA. Again, this is Dawah, so anybody accepting Islam or staying firm on their Islam because of your donation, inshallah, you get tons of reward for that. Cage. So Cage is helping the often neglected people negatively affected by the war on terror. So this is a very big one. This is an important one. It's one I feel like people don't want to give to, or they don't give to as much, because it's more of a long-term thing. It's not like, yeah, this guy's dying right now, but it's very, very important. If Muslims are going to be in the West, they need this level of legal protection. And Cage do a great job with that. If you just look at the guys behind it, leading it, they're very passionate about this, and they work hard, and they put their neck on the line, right? They get in trouble for the work they do, but they're defending the oppressed in the end, in a very good way. Ithar Relief. Ithar Relief is one of my favorite charities when it comes to just doing legit charity work. They're focused on East Africa. Funnily enough, I performed at their launch event. I think they did a launch event in Birmingham years and years and years ago. I was there. So Ithar Relief, they're good for giving your zakah. They're good for giving zakah not zakatul mal, zakatul fitr, yeah. Because it needs to be given in a certain form. You can't just be giving money around. They distribute it in the correct way. So I like them for that. They'll take your zakat or sadaqah, whatever you like, and I think they do a good job. Hadith disciple. So this is a mufti, of course, Muhammad ibn Munir, you might know him as, and he's got a Patreon. So if you like what he's doing, you should support him, right? If you want more people like him to exist, then make him very successful. I'm pretty sure he didn't put this Patreon together. One of his students or something did, and I'm sure they used that money to help them in terms of traveling and giving talks and teaching and stuff like that. Hugs. So this is another one that I always repeat on the list every year. So provide financial, emotional, and practical support and advice to Muslim households impacted by counterterrorism, national security, and extremism-related laws. And also, I think they help people who are in jail in general, people's families who are in jail. So that's Hugs. Always a good charity. Spot. I've written here, my main man, Abu Bakr. He actually moved from London to Gambia to do this, to live this life. I think he's between the two places, but he's really there. He's using money very efficiently, and he's building orphanage out there, school, masjid, and he's going to keep going. Right? He's on the ground. He doesn't do things in a fancy way. He does it right. He's not going to spend your money on his business class ticket or anything like that. So they've got a couple of ways that you can give. I've got links there. Task Force GLM. This is a Green Lane Masjid. So they seem like, even though they're a masjid, they do like foreign aid kind of thing, right? Emergency aid. So they do really seem to be doing a good job there. So I've got them listed here. Finally, I've got the Dean Show. The Dean Show is I think kind of like the media version of Iera. And I just like Eddie, the guy, the host is like, he's dedicated to dawah. He's proven he's proven himself by doing this for years and years and years, probably over 10 years now, really. And he's been doing it before he was, had any financial support. And now he's got some financial support. He's continuing to do it. He's reaching more and more people. And he's getting some mainstream people on the interviews he does, which gets that attention from outside of, the Muslim Ummah, which is what this is for. And he's always good at explaining the Deen and explaining the correct version of the Deen, if you like. So he's a good guy to support. Again, it's like, if we be the good you want to see in the world, right? So if you want more things like the Deen Show to exist, then give to the Deen Show. You got to remember that. For example, I don't know if you know PragerU, right? They're a American right-wing media organization. They're a charity, but they're putting out right-wing propaganda, if you like, day in, day out. Very professional, very well done, and a lot of financial backing, right? And no doubt they are convincing people to believe in their principles. So we need to back what we believe in. We need to put the money out there, the money where our mouth is, basically. And that goes for everything. It goes for the emergency side of things. Like, I wish there wasn't poverty. Well, then you can try and help them out. And when it goes for media, it goes for counterterrorism stuff that has gone over the top. Anything, right? It even goes to, when it comes to, if you think men suck these days, then, I've got my campaign, which the objective of this campaign is to help men develop in an authentic way that is authentic to masculinity. It's giving people a path other than the extreme path of being this softy, no aggression, no boldness, no standing up for the truth, feminist kind of guy. And on the other hand, the egomaniac guy who disrespects women, makes fun of women, doesn't take on responsibility, all of that, right? If we're going to build a strong ummah with strong families, we need men who understand the role of a man and the traits of a real man. So that's what my thing is all about. So whatever you believe in, back it. Yeah, back it as much as you can. You don't have to give a ton. You just give, I think we should be thinking of it in terms of percentage of savings or percentage of income or whatever, and challenge yourself to give a lot, 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever it is. Everyone's in a different financial situation, but when you're not in a good financial situation, that is when you prove to Allah your tawakkul by giving. And when you're in a good position, that is when you give to prove your gratitude to Allah, and also your tawakkul, that you know that you can give and it will come back to you. Okay, so having said that, hope this video wasn't too long. I've got all the links there for you in the description. You can go to this spreadsheet and you can make your own version, or you can just click on the links right from my version. No problem with that at all. Okay, thank you. Any support for my campaign, of course, would be welcome, but all of these are worthwhile places to put your money, inshallah. So yeah, thank you, and make sure you look out for future videos coming on this channel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.